My sister texted, "You're out of the wedding. It's only for real family." I replied, "Great, then real family can cover their own bills." They kept laughing in the chat. But by morning they went crazy. I was standing in line at Target with a cart full of throw pillows I didn't need when the message popped up on my phone. Just 6 words from my sister Amber. "You're out of the wedding. It's only for real family." No emojis. No explanation. Just that. First I thought it was a joke. Amber had always been dramatic, sure, but to uninvite me from her wedding? I hadn't even done anything. At least not recently. We hadn't fought, hadn't even spoken more than casually in a few weeks. But then I opened the group chat, the one with our cousins, our mom, our aunts, and some of Amber's bridesmaids, and saw the messages that followed. One of the bridesmaids, Alyssa, sent a laughing emoji. Then Amber added, "Let's keep the drama out of my day. Sophie's just not really part of this anymore." Another cousin replied, "Didn't she just pay for your dress fitting?" Amber, "Oh yeah, but that's cancelled too. She can take her charity back." More laughing emojis. No one said a word in my defense. Not one. I stared at my phone like I was trying to set it on fire with my eyes. I couldn't even process it right away. I've always been the one who showed up. Covered bills when Amber was in college. Helped her get her first apartment. Took care of things when she blew through her credit limit 2 years ago. And I never asked for a dime back. The wedding. I'd already paid for half the catering deposit, the DJ, and all the floral arrangements because she said she was tight on cash. She told me I was the only one she trusted to handle things. That was 6 weeks ago. Now suddenly I'm not really family? I didn't say anything for a while. I just left the cart at the checkout and walked out of the store. Drove straight home, sat on my couch and scrolled through every receipt I had. Then I typed my reply in the group chat. "Great, then real family can cover their own bills." I attached every invoice I had paid for. Catering, $4,200. DJ, $1,500. Florals, $2,300. Photography deposit, $1,000. I sent screenshots of each, one after the other, and then I canceled all of them, one by one. The group chat lit up. At first it was more laughing. Amber sent, "Oh, okay, bitter much?" And Alyssa posted a meme about bridezillas versus brokezillas. But by the next morning things had shifted. Hard. And they weren't laughing anymore. When I woke up the next morning my phone had 47 unread messages. I didn't even check them right away. I made coffee, opened the window, let the fall air in. I was calm. Coldly calm. Like the kind of calm that comes after someone flips a switch in you that can't be unflipped. When I finally opened the group chat, the tone had completely flipped overnight. "Amber, you're kidding, right? You seriously canceled the vendors? That's low, Sophie. Even for you." Then Mom jumped in. "You need to fix this. This is your sister's wedding." She was stressed. She didn't mean it. You don't cancel someone's wedding out of spite. I read that one twice. Out of spite? I hadn't said anything cruel. I didn't insult her or throw a tantrum. I just turned off the money tap, the one I never should have opened in the first place. Then Amber sent the one that got to me. "You were always jealous I was getting married first. You never wanted this to happen for me." That one punched me in the chest a little. Not because it was true, it wasn't, but because she really believed it. And I started to realize, she didn't just see me as the backup plan anymore. She saw me as a threat to her little fantasy world. I didn't respond. A few hours later I got a call from the florist. She said Amber had called, screaming. Demanded the arrangements be reinstated. Claimed I had no right to cancel. But the payment had been in my name. I told her I wouldn't be covering anything else and wished her luck. Then I got a call from Dad. He never calls. Ever. So when his name popped up I thought maybe, finally, someone was going to see it for what it was. Nope. He asked if I'd really sabotaged Amber's wedding. He asked if I was still hung up on that fight from 2 years ago. I told him this wasn't about any fight. It was about being told I wasn't part of the family while I was footing the bill for the party. He said, "You're being petty." I didn't say a word. That night I texted the group chat one more time. "Wait for your wedding gift." No one responded. Not one of them. They were probably all together whispering about me, calling me crazy, selfish, bitter. But I wasn't sitting around crying. I was working on something See, Amber forgot that I used to live with her. That I knew all her passwords. That I helped her clean up messes she begged me not to tell Mom and Dad about. And more importantly, she forgot about New Year's Eve. The night I accidentally walked into her room looking for a phone charger. And saw her making out with someone who definitely wasn't her fiancé. His name was Kyle. And I had a video. I hadn't meant to take it. I'd been fumbling to switch on my flashlight and accidentally hit record. I'd tucked it away at the time, told myself it wasn't my business. But now it was very much my business. I didn't say anything that week. Let them all stew. Amber posted some vague Instagram captions about toxic energy and protecting your peace. A few of our relatives reposted them. The wedding was still happening. She had scraped together replacements. Cheap ones probably. But the show was still on. And I was going to be there. The ceremony was scheduled for Saturday afternoon at a rented vineyard 2 hours outside the city. I wasn't technically invited anymore, but I knew they wouldn't be checking for my name at the gate. It was family-run, casual, no security. Amber probably figured I wouldn't dare show my face after all the drama. That's where she miscalculated. I showed up in a navy blue dress, not flashy, just enough to look like I belonged. I even brought a card, tucked it into a small white envelope and slipped it into the gift box near the guest book. Inside the card I wrote 6 words. Hope you enjoy the memories. Asterisk asterisk. I stayed in the back during the ceremony. Didn't talk to anyone. Most of the family was seated near the front. Our parents, our uncles and aunts, our grandparents. Amber stood under a white archway wrapped in faux vines, her smile wide, her dress painfully expensive looking for someone who couldn't afford centerpieces 3 days ago. Her fiancé Mason looked happy. Nervous but happy. I watched him closely. The guy had always been nice enough, polite at family stuff, boring in a way that made him seem trustworthy. I had no reason to dislike him. In fact, I actually felt bad for him. He had no idea who he was about to commit to for life. When the officiant started the final part of the ceremony, the vows, I pulled out my phone. I had already queued up the video. It was only 22 seconds long, shot through a crack in the door, Amber's voice clear as day, her hands in Kyle's hair, laughing, whispering, asterisk, he's just a safety net. I don't love him like I love you. I hit send. The video went out to the entire family group chat. Every cousin, aunt, uncle, and yes, Mason. I saw the exact moment he felt the vibration in his pocket. So did Amber. Her smile twitched. He pulled out his phone mid-ceremony. So did my mother. And my aunt. And my cousin Lindsay. One by one, people started murmuring. Confused glances. Phones lighting up. Then Mason held up his hand, stopping the officiant. He turned to Amber and said something quietly, something no one else could hear, and held up the screen to her face. She went pale. She tried to grab it from him, but he pulled it back. Then he looked past her. Straight into the crowd. Straight at me. That's when I stepped forward. Walked down the middle aisle right up to the altar. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't cry. Didn't laugh. I just said one thing. You all need to know who my sister really is. No one moved. No one interrupted. Amber didn't speak. She just stared at me, stunned, her mouth open like she couldn't decide what emotion to fake first. Then all hell broke loose. Amber lunged at me, practically knocked over the officiant. She screamed something I couldn't even make out. Probably threats, maybe slurs. But before she reached me, Mason stepped between us and grabbed her arm. She turned on him next. Big mistake. Because Mason didn't let go. He didn't yell. He just stood there, stone-faced, holding her by the wrist like she was a stranger who had just tried to steal his wallet. He asked her 2 words. Is it true? Amber started crying. Not cute crying, desperate, red-faced, gasping. She kept saying, I'm sorry, and it didn't mean anything, and it was just once. But Mason wasn't looking at her anymore. He was looking at the video again. Then he walked away. Not just off the altar. Off the vineyard. In his car. Drove off. Amber collapsed on the grass, still sobbing. Our mom ran to her. Some bridesmaids followed. No one came near me. I walked back to my car and didn't look back. On the way home I turned off my phone. I didn't need to see the fallout. I already knew. When I turned my phone back on that night, I expected a firestorm. What I got was a quiet kind of chaos. The kind that feels heavier than screaming. 36 missed calls. Most of them from my mom. A few from unknown numbers. Probably relatives trying to act like they suddenly had a neutral opinion. One voicemail from Amber. I didn't listen to it. I just deleted it. The family group chat was a war zone. Messages flying in from every direction. A few of them still had the video open, commenting underneath it like it was a post. Uncle Ray. This is a damn disgrace. Cousin Lindsay. I knew something was off about her. She tried to flirt with Kyle at my engagement party last year. Maria. This is a private matter, Sophie. That was not your place. Well, everyone stop. This isn't helping. And finally, my dad. We will not tolerate this kind of public humiliation in this family. Not her humiliation. Their embarrassment. That was the real crime, apparently. Not the cheating. Not the lying. Not what she said about Mason being a safety net. No, the problem was that I had revealed it, and in doing so I had made them look bad. By morning the chat was quiet again. Then the texts started coming in one by one in private. Well, you've made your point. Enough is enough. Amber, I hope you're happy. You've destroyed my life. You don't even know the whole story. Cousin Jess. You okay? That last one made me pause. It was the first message that didn't come loaded with judgment. I stared at it for a while but didn't respond. I didn't want sympathy. I wanted space. That afternoon Dad called again. I let it go to voicemail. He left one sentence. Your mother is inconsolable. Call her. I didn't. Instead, I drove to the place Mason used to work. A little garage on the east side of town. I wasn't sure why. Maybe just to make sure he was okay. Or maybe to apologize. He wasn't there. His coworker said he'd taken the week off. I left my number and told them to give it to him if he ever wanted to talk. Then I went home, pulled the blinds, and slept for 13 hours. By the weekend, Amber had wiped her entire Instagram. No posts, no stories, just her bio and a profile picture that looked like it was from last year. The wedding photos, the ones she'd posted in advance with the hashtag she invented, all gone. The hashtag itself, hijacked. People had started posting memes under it. Some even reshared the video, edited with dramatic music. She was being humiliated publicly now. And suddenly I wasn't the villain anymore. But that didn't last. Because within days the family circled the wagons. Mom texted again. We raised you better than this. She's your sister. You were supposed to protect her, not destroy her. And then came the final blow. We're not sure we want you at Thanksgiving this year. Things are too raw. I stared at that one the longest. After everything Amber had done, the lies, the betrayal, the entitlement, the way she used me like an ATM and then tossed me aside, I was the one being pushed out. Not her. Me. So I typed back one sentence. Don't worry. I won't be there. I left the family group chat, blocked Amber's number, deleted the voicemails, and then I sat there on my couch alone. Not dramatic, not angry, just quiet. It hit me then for the first time in all of this. I didn't have a sister anymore. The week after the wedding was eerily silent. No calls. No texts. Not even a passive-aggressive comment on my social media, which was strange considering how loud my family usually was when they were upset. They weren't quiet because they had nothing to say. They were quiet because I had become the problem they didn't want to talk about in public. The stain they couldn't wash out without drawing more attention. Amber didn't reach out again. I thought maybe she'd post a statement, something about being betrayed or misunderstood, but she didn't. She disappeared. Vanished from all our mutual friends' pages. It was like she went underground. Then about a week later I got a call from Mason. Unknown number. I only picked up because I was expecting a work call, but the second I heard his voice I froze. He asked if I had time to talk. I told him I didn't owe him anything, but he said that wasn't why he was calling. He said thank you. He said he watched the video 10 times that night, and not because he didn't believe it, he did, but because he couldn't understand how he'd missed it. The way she'd been distant, distracted, overly affectionate right before big arguments. It all made sense now. She wasn't unsure about him. He just wanted to be seen as the good one. The victim. He told me he left town. Canceled their apartment lease. Took some time off work and went to stay with a friend in Colorado. Said he didn't even tell his own parents what happened yet. I don't know who I was about to marry, he said. But I'm glad I didn't. He asked if I was okay. That was the first time someone had really asked me that and meant it. I told him I didn't know. I wasn't sad exactly. I wasn't angry anymore either. Just empty. Like someone had cut out a part of my life and filled it with cold air. He said something I won't forget. Sometimes you lose people who were never really yours. We didn't talk much after that. He thanked me again and I wished him peace. I didn't cry. Thought I would. I think I wanted to. But nothing came out. It had been 3 weeks since the wedding. My apartment felt too quiet. I stopped checking the family group chat, the one I'd left. My mom never called again. Thanksgiving came and went. I spent it eating Thai food on my couch, watching a documentary about shipwrecks. Fitting, I guess. I started realizing how much of my identity had been tied to fixing things for Amber. For my parents. For everyone. Without that role, I didn't really know who I was. One afternoon, I went through my storage closet and found a shoebox full of old photos. Ones from when Amber and I were kids. Matching pajamas. Birthday parties. A beach trip where we made sandcastles and fought over who got the last Capri Sun. I sat on the floor just staring at our stupid sunburned faces, and wondered if any of that had been real. Had she ever seen me as her sister? Or just a safety net too? I didn't throw the photos away. I just put the box back. Some things aren't worth burning even when they hurt. But that's when it really settled in. This wasn't just the end of a fight. This was the end of a relationship. One I'd been carrying alone for years without realizing it. And she never once said thank you. December came fast. Cold mornings, frost on the windows, holiday lights strung up on houses like nothing had happened. Like the world had just moved on without missing a beat. I hadn't heard from anyone in my family since Thanksgiving. Not even a forwarded holiday chain email from Aunt Linda, who used to send those 25 days of gratitude things like clockwork. Nothing. It was like I'd been quietly cut out of the family photo. No big speech. No confrontation. Just erased. I thought maybe Christmas would break the silence. That someone would crack, someone would text me something dumb and neutral. Are you coming to Mom's? Or, hope you're doing okay. But the only message I got on Christmas morning was from an old coworker. I didn't reply. Instead, I went to a little diner that was still open, sat by the window and ate pancakes by myself while a young couple in the corner fed bites to their toddler. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I didn't even feel sad. It was just quiet. And then sometime around New Year's I got an email from Amber. Not a message. Not a call. An actual email. The subject line was, "For what it's worth." No greeting. No apology. Just a wall of text. She said she never meant for things to go this far. That I had always made her feel like she owed me something. That I never understood how hard it was to grow up in my shadow, even if I thought I was helping her. That I blew up her life out of spite. He said Mason was never perfect. That Kyle was a mistake. That I ruined her future. She didn't say sorry. She said I made her feel like she was a nobody. I stared at that sentence for a long time. You made me feel like I was a nobody. Funny, I thought. That's exactly what she said to me before she kicked me out of the wedding. I didn't reply. I archived the message and blocked the email. That was the last time she ever tried to reach out. I started therapy in January. Not because I felt broken, but because I didn't want to become numb. I needed to sort out the years I spent trying to be her net, her crutch, her fixer. I had to learn that protecting people who don't want your protection doesn't make you noble. It just makes you tired. One night, my therapist asked me a question that stuck. What part of you are you still waiting for them to acknowledge? I didn't answer right away. But after a while I said that I was enough, without having to be useful. That was it. That was the wound I hadn't been able to name. I don't know where Amber is now. I heard from a cousin, months later, that she moved in with Kyle. That they broke up after 2 months. That she's living with a friend and working some job she won't talk about. I don't wish her pain. I don't wish her anything really. I just don't consider her my sister anymore. And that's not revenge. That's peace.